When you guys go out on a date, who typically handles the bill?
You want to answer?
He's looking at her.
Me.
Okay.
He usually always pays.
Yeah, there's no splitting the bill.
Yeah.
That just works for our relationship. If other people want to split the bill, then they can handle it that way. But the way I was raised is you go out to eat or you put food on the table, you cover it.
If you ask her out on a date, who's paying for it?
Me.
Okay. If you ask him out on a date, who's paying?
Him.
If he asks you out on a date, who's paying for it?
Him.
Why do you think that is?
Because he has a job and I don't.
If a guy asks you out on a date, who's obligated to pay?
I think that you either go halfsies or he pays. If he invites you, like if I invite, then I pay, I guess. But if he does, he pays.
If a guy asks you out, who's obligated to pay?
If a guy asked me out, he would pay because he's the one who asked for the date.
Okay. So if you asked him out, you'd be obligated to pay too, right?
Not necessarily.
So why is it different for a woman, but if he asks you out, then he has to pay?
I don't think it's always different. I think it just depends on the context, the situation. You gotta assess the vibe.
Okay. So more times than not, if you ask a guy out, you're paying for it.
I'm rarely asking a guy out, though.
Well, in the cases that you do, how do you handle splitting the bill?
I don't offer to split the bill. I talked about this in therapy. It's like an opportunity to let someone like lead the relationship, I guess.
Okay. So a man's role is to lead. That's his job.
I mean, in a balanced way.
Okay. Sure. So you just come, show up, look nice, pretty, and he takes care of everything.
I don't know. I don't like the way this is going.
I mean, but isn't that what typically happens? It's not a bad thing or a good thing. It's just how it is.
I'm confused right now.
Should a broke guy be dating?
Should a broke guy be dating? No, 100% not. You should be focused on yourself. You should be focused on getting yourself together before you ever think about dating.
Okay, so if you don't have a job, if you're not getting money in, don't even think about chicks.
If you're Big Dick Ronnie over here, then sure, you can do that. But if you're not, then I would stick to getting yourself together, 100%.
Should a broke guy be dating?
Yeah,
Why would
everyone's
you not?
got a date.
No, I mean it doesn't matter about how much you have. It's a matter of what you can bring to the
Quality
table. No, it's not
of the
that.
date.
It's not about the money you could bring. It's about what you bring to the table. So it's more of a personal standpoint. So if you're bringing value, it's all about value. It is. I mean, it's any relationship's value. You bring something to the table. It doesn't have to be fucking money. Excuse my language, but yeah, it just has to be money.
Quality of the date. You can go on a low budget date and it's still a good date.
Okay. So even if a dude is kind of financially struggling, he should still be able to go out there and get some.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Why wouldn't he?
Okay. As long as you're aiming towards something and that woman can support you, there's nothing wrong with that in my opinion. Like now, granted, like some social circumstances, paying for stuff and stuff like that might look kind of bad, but as long as like that guy
Has ambition, then.
Yeah. No, for sure. That defines a man. Like a man, what defines a man is like ambition. As long as he's striving for something, as long as you're working towards something and it's constant and it's consistent, and like every day, it's a consistent thing every day. I don't think there's a problem with that, because at the end of the day, man, life hits you in so many different directions, and everybody has different playing cards. So if he's going towards a certain direction and it has positive outlooks and then the circumstances look right, I don't see a problem with that.
If he's looking for someone to just take care of him, I would, suggest him work on himself, get a degree, get a good job, and then, look for that. If all he's looking for is just someone to take care of him. But if he's looking for, love, then I'm sure he could find it. But
Yeah, it depends on whatever lifestyle you're wanting. If you want a life where you don't work or make a lot of money, obviously everyone's deserving of love, but If your standards are super high and your lifestyle is very low, then it's not going to match up and you're not going to find happiness.
Thanks again for watching, guys, for liking, sharing, subscribing, and commenting. But I just wanted to let you know that we just made a community on locals. So feel free to head on over there at thedesirabletruth.locals.com to support the channel further and also get access to behind-the-scenes content, perks, Q&A sessions, and so much more. Should a man discuss his financial problems with his woman?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah, for sure. Not like right off the bat. Like,
Yeah,
that'd
no.
be crazy.
I think once you're at a point where you are deep enough into the relationship where you can talk about most things, I think financial issues or financial whatever, it shouldn't be a problem to discuss.
Do you want to date a strong, independent woman?
Yeah, 100%. I think a strong, independent woman is great. Like, there's no girl that, like, I mean, if you're strong and independent yourself, a strong, independent woman wouldn't feel inferior. It would feel great because she makes you better as a person. 100%. Yeah.
Do you think a man is looking for a strong, independent woman?
They're looking for it, but when they have it, it's scary to them.
So why do you think that guys are afraid of that?
It's just my experience. Like, I've always been just put on a pedestal, and then it's like the new conversation is, I'm not worthy of you. And I'm like, why? Don't I get to decide if you are or not? And it's just a mental game that they play with themselves, and it's like everything that they were attracted to in you, all of a sudden, they are like, it brings them down. They compare themselves to it, even though they were originally attracted to it.
Do you think a man is looking to date a strong, independent woman?
I'd hope so. Because I would think of myself as that.
I think depends on their bringing up.
Yeah,
their upbringing.
Southern men? No.
They
from
wanna
what I've
provide.
seen. Yeah. No.
Yeah, I do think it depends.
intimidated.
I think a lot of men say that they want a strong, independent woman until they have one, and then they get insecure about it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I don't think it should be like that. Not all men are like this, but I have experienced that.
Do you think a woman should submit to a man?
No.
Why?
It depends on how he treats her.
Okay. How do you feel?
Traditionally, yes. I can agree with her on that aspect. If the man is treating her, well,
Respectful.
okay, we're not gonna
If he
go.
treats her good, then yes, she should
Yeah.
submit to him.
No, if the man is providing, he's well-rounded, he's goal-driven, and he's aspiring for himself, the woman should absolutely submit to him no matter what. Like, there's no question about that. But I mean, there are toxic dudes out here. Obviously, we know that. But overall, traditionally, the man should be a goal-driven individual. So if he's doing that, then absolutely, the woman should be submitting.
Do you think women should submit to men?
If you like to. I think it's up to each woman. Like, if you like to submit, go for it. If it's good for you.
So what does submission mean to you?
It's like allowing them to make the decisions.
Relinquishing control.
I don't know. Yes, I guess so, but not. That sounds a little bit more tragic.
So would you submit to a guy that you like?
100%.
Okay. So it's safe to say that women typically should submit to men then, right?
Not should. If they like to, yes, they should.
So do you think a relationship will function if a woman isn't submitting to a guy?
I think that you have to have...
In the traditional sense.
You have to have a strong man. I think that... This is rude, kind of. I think that guys are very easily insecure. And so if you are a powerful woman, they have a hard time.
Should women submit to men?
Should they what?
Oh, I love this question. I love this question because there are a lot of Christians out there who say that, like, yes, 1,000% a woman should submit to a man, but in truth, the reality, a woman shouldn't submit to a man until a man's willing to submit to Christ himself. You know what I'm saying? Because in truth, the reality, in a marriage, it's led by being the best servant. Honestly, like, if I'm willing to serve my wife for others, and I'm willing to serve others for anyone else, then my wife's gonna be like, you know what? I'm willing to submit to this man because he's willing to do whatever it takes to help others for himself. You know what I'm saying? So, but I know there's a lot of people out there that are just like, oh yes, of course, a woman should submit to a man, or like the man should submit to a woman, and vice versa, and we're always going at each other. But in reality, if you can find a man who's willing to submit to Jesus before submitting to anything else, then I think he's worthy to be submitted to, and also the man, long run, will submit to the wife also.
Do you think a relationship is better if you're more invested or if you're more invested?
100% if the guy is more invested. It has to be the guy is more invested.
Why? Why do you feel that way?
I don't know. I just feel like psychologically, I feel like the men should always chase the women. Traditionally, you know, obviously women can come first and say something to the man and be interested first, but I think for the relationship to work, the men always have to be more interested in the women.
Is that how he got you, by chasing you?
110% on his hands and knees. I'm just kidding.
Okay. So he begged for you, basically.
Yeah, we broke up for a little bit, and for a little bit, I mean like 2 years.
So it's fair to say that he was simping over you?
Yes, 100%, yeah.
Okay. What are your thoughts? Should a man or a woman be more invested emotionally?
I say neither. I think they both have to be equally invested in order to make it work. I think it's kind of one of those sayings, like you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. So it's like, I can chase her all day, but if she doesn't put any effort, then I don't get anything out of it.
Right.
Same goes for the other person. So both people have to be, you know, I hear the term 50-50 a lot, but I think both parties have to be 100-100.
Okay.
I know that you're drunk. Yeah. Tell me what you want after this club. You know you're nasty. Don't move around in my house, call a taxi.